Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and unforgettable conclusions in all of literature, the final chapter of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby.
So the chapter kicks off not with a bang, but with this deafening silence. After a whole summer of these huge blowout parties with hundreds and hundreds of people, Jay Gatsby dies, and he's almost completely alone. That stark emptiness, right there, sets this grim, incredibly revealing tone for everything that's about to unfold.
And this contrast is just devastating. On one hand, you've got the hundreds of people who couldn't care less, the ones who were happy to drink his booze and gossip in his mansion. And on the other, the tiny handful of people who actually showed up when he was gone. That massive gap between the two tells you everything you need to know about the world Gatsby was so desperate to be a part of. As Nick tries to pull a funeral together, people just start bailing on him, one after another. Tom and Daisy, the whole reason Gatsby did any of this, they just vanish. His shady business partner, Wolfsheim, says he can't get mixed up in it. And then, maybe the most unbelievable one of all, is Klipspringer, the boarder. He calls, but not to say he's sorry, oh no. He calls to ask if someone can send him his tennis shoes. It's just a masterclass in not caring. But then, someone does come. And it's the complete opposite of all those wealthy, careless people. It's Gatsby's humble father, Henry C. Gatz, who makes this long, lonely trip all the way from Minnesota. His arrival is just heartbreaking, and it gives us this crucial peek into who Gatsby was before he became the Great Gatsby. And check this out. The most revealing thing Mr. Gatz has with him is this old book from when Gatsby was a kid. And inside, a daily schedule he wrote for himself. The discipline is just, wow. Dumbbell exercise, study electricity, practice elocution. This tells us the whole Great Gatsby persona wasn't some accident. This was a lifelong project. It shows this deep, almost painfully American drive to completely reinvent himself. Okay, so Gatsby's story is done. The focus of the chapter now shifts to the guy who saw it all happen, Nick Carraway. And this section is really all about his final judgment. He's been our moral compass the whole time. And frankly, he's had it with the empty, corrupt world he's found himself in. He absolutely nails his final thoughts on the Buchanans with this one perfect quote. They just sort of crash through life, breaking things, breaking people, and then they just disappear back into their vast wealth, completely shielded from any consequences. They never, ever have to clean up the messes they make. Fitzgerald gives us this amazing term for what Nick's feeling, provincial squeamishness. It's basically Nick admitting that his simple Midwestern values, things like decency and accountability, they just don't compute in this so-called sophisticated world. He realizes he can't fit in here, and more importantly, he doesn't want to. And the last straw for Nick is when he finally confronts Tom. He finds out that it was Tom himself who told the grief-crazed George Wilson that Gatsby was the one who killed his wife. Tom points the gun, so to speak. And the most chilling part of it all? Tom actually thinks he was justified in doing it. And this is where the novel pulls off something truly brilliant. In its last few pages, it's like the camera suddenly zooms way, way out. It stops being about the tragedy of just one man and becomes this profound statement on the entire American experience. Fitzgerald uses this absolutely beautiful phrase. But here's the thing. At first, he's not even talking about Gatsby. He's imagining the sense of awe that the first Dutch sailors must have felt when they saw the American continent for the very first time. He's setting up this huge historical parallel. And boom, there's the connection. Gatsby's personal obsession with that little green light at the end of Daisy's dock, Fitzgerald is telling us it's the modern version of that fresh green breast of the New World. Gatsby's green light becomes the symbol for that original American myth, the promise of a vast, unspoiled new beginning. And that's really the novel's grand argument, isn't it? Daisy was just the target for the dream. But the dream itself, that incredible, powerful capacity for hope, that wasn't just Gatsby's. It was American. Gatsby becomes this tragic symbol for the original, awe-inspiring promise of the American dream. But, and this is a huge but, if Gatsby's dream is the American dream, then the novel is also arguing that there's a fundamental, tragic flaw baked right into it. It's a beautiful idea, but ultimately it's a doomed pursuit. So why is it doomed? Well, because it's always looking backward. It's a dream that's rooted in the past, not the future. Gatsby isn't trying to build a new life with Daisy. He literally says he wants to repeat the past. He's chasing a memory, And that's something you can never, ever truly get back. This whole idea of a doomed but beautiful chase is captured perfectly in the novel's final iconic lines. This is the book's final verdict on not just Gatsby, but on all of us. And with that one incredible metaphor, Fitzgerald turns the story away from Gatsby and points it directly at us. He's saying this isn't just Gatsby's story, it's our story. We all have a green light, that perfect future we're reaching for, even as it seems to get farther away. So let's break it down really quick. We are the boats. We're all rowing forward, trying to get to our future dreams. But the current, that's time itself, and it's this relentless force that's always pushing us backward. And where is it pushing us? Back into the past, the place where our dreams were born, and the place we can't seem to escape. I mean, it's no mistake that the very last word of the entire novel is past. That says it all. That's the ultimate heartbreaking conclusion. The fight itself is noble, it might even be great, but the destination, a perfect, recreated past, is always, always out of reach. And that just leaves us with this one big, nagging question to think about. If we're all just boats fighting a current we can never beat, if the dream is always behind us, what's the point of striving at all? What does it mean that we beat on, anyway, day after day?